We decided to do a media project on the stereotypes of gender and love depicted in Walt Disney princess movies.
Walter Elias Disney, known as Walt Disney, was born on December 5, 1901, and is most famous for having one of the best-known motion picture production companies in the world.
After his outbreak, he expanded to making the very first and most famous princess fairy tale movies. The 4 movies we chose to focus on are Snow White, Cinderella, Beauty and the Beast, and the most recent, Princess and the Frog.
In these princess movies, they each have a common storyline. The events that happened and the specific characters that were used were directed that way by Walt Disney because it was a representation of his own life.
Walt Disney's mother died in a fire, and it is told that Walt Disney took this death very hard and actually blamed himself. This happened at a very young age, so he grew up without a mother, leaving him with just his father and brother.
This brings us to make the speculation that this is the reason why in almost every one of the Princess Disney movies by Walt Disney, the princesses do not have a mother figure. And in fact, if there is a mother figure, they are most likely to be the evil, cruel character.
Which is why we chose to do this topic, because of the messages it shows young girls and the impact it has on them. Walt Disney's fairy tale movies reinforce a stereotypical behavior for a woman that is taught at a young age. In the movie Snow White, she is sent away from her family as a young girl because an evil witch cast a spell on her when she was a baby. In place of parental figures, she is raised by 12 dwarfs who happen to be all men. These dwarves are the only parent figures she has in her life. They tell her what to do, and she cooks and cleans for them. In the movie, there are many scenes where it shows her happily doing these things for them.
It won't take long when there's a song to help you set the stage. Not under the rug.
As she gets older and it is her 18th birthday, the only way to undo the spell is she has to find true love. In this movie, it shows the only way to be happy is to be in love with a man. Snow White conforms to the gender roles of a woman, having to always be saved or rescued by a man, and taking on the stereotypical role of a woman and a household.
In the movie Cinderella, it portrays a lot of negative messages. Just as Snow White, Cinderella shows young girls that the only way to be happy is by being saved by a man. Cinderella, arguably the most popular Disney movie, is a prime example of how Disney movies portray women to be weak and how they need to rely on a man to be happy. Prince Charming was a shallow man who only saw Cinderella based on her looks. In today's society, this is still happening, unfortunately. Men are too obsessed with how women look rather than how they are as human beings.
You can't go in there. Now, let's see, dear. Your size and the shade of your eyes. Something simple, but daring, too. Oh, just leave it to me. What a gown this will be. Bibbidi-bobbidi, bibbidi-bobbidi, bibbidi-bobbidi.
Oh, it's a beautiful dress. Did you ever see such a beautiful dress? And look, glass slippers. Why, it's like a dream. A wonderful dream come true.
In the movie Beauty and the Beast, Belle was trying to save her father from being kidnapped. Throughout the movie, her heart and mind was in the right place, but the way that the Beast treated Belle in the beginning of the movie was unacceptable and, in a way, kind of frightening. By the way Belle endured and accepted his violent and aggressive treatment towards her, it shows young girls that they should do the same. Not only does she allow this to happen to her, but they end up falling in love. On the contrary, Princess and the Frog, a more recent Disney movie, goes against all of the other gender stereotypes that is shown in the previous movies. Tiana, unlike the other Disney princesses, she isn't looking for her Prince Charming to save her and find true love to make her happy. She finds true happiness by doing what she loves, which is cooking. Tiana, unlike the others, wants to work and strives to be her own boss by owning her own business. This is a positive message to young females because it teaches them that they can be independent and still find true love and happiness. And most importantly, she does not conform to society norms. As a conclusion, it makes sense that Walt Disney directed these movies a certain way because that's how society viewed women's gender roles in the 1900s. Cinderella, Snow White, and Beauty and the Beast were all produced in that time period. It was considered normal for the woman to stay home, cook and clean, and to be dependent on a man. Overall, Disney princess movies has a huge impact on the reinforcement of negative female gender roles over young girls.